Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Let's dive into today's story. Forget everything you think you know about pirates, because today, we're sailing headfirst into the legend of a woman who wasn't just a pirate, she was a force of nature. A blazing redhead with a cutlass in one hand and fury in her heart. This is the untold, untamed story of Anne Bonny, the lady pirate who didn't just defy the empire. She defied every single expectation of what a woman could be. Our tale begins not on the high seas, but in the quiet scandal-ridden corners of 18th century Cork, Ireland. Circa, a child is born into a world of whispered secrets. Her mother, a humble servant, and her father, a prominent lawyer, William McCormick. Their affair, a scandalous whisper that soon became a roar. When the truth exploded, it shattered McCormick's reputation. So, what do you do when your world collapses? You flee to London with your mistress and your illegitimate daughter, Anne. To hide Anne's identity, McCormick performed an audacious act. He disguised his own daughter as a boy, calling her Andy, a small lie that hinted at the massive deceptions to come. The family set sail for the New World, seeking a fresh start in the Carolinas. McCormick dropped the MC from his name, becoming just Cormick, and tried to rebuild his life. From lawyer to merchant, he clawed his way to success in Charlestown. But tragedy stalked them. Anne's mother died when she was just 12, leaving a fiery young girl in a world she was already chafing against. Even as a teenager, Anne was a whirlwind of rebellion. At 13, she stabbed a servant girl with a table knife in a fit of pure, unadulterated rage. A good catch, many called her, when a respectable match is arranged by her father. But Anne Bonny had no intention of being caught. At 16, she defied her father, defied society, and eloped with a poor sailor named James Bonny. A man with nothing but a wild streak and a dream of gaining Anne's father's fortune. James's dreams crumbled when Anne was disowned by the family. So, between 1714 and 1718, they vanished into the notorious Republic of Pirates, Nassau, the capital of the Bahamas. A haven for outlaws and ex-privateers. Many had accepted the king's pardon, a get-out-of-jail-free card for pirates. James Bonny was one of them, turning informant for the new governor, Woodes Rogers. But Anne had no interest in respectability. No interest in betrayal. Instead, she plunged headfirst into the raucous taverns of Nassau. And there, amidst the rum and rowdy songs, she met him, John Calico Jack Rackham. He was charismatic, notorious, and utterly captivating. Anne, disillusioned with her dull marriage, began a passionate, scandalous affair. Calico Jack even offered to buy her freedom from James, a surprisingly common practice. But James, stubborn and spiteful, refused. Anne didn't care. She left anyway. In August 1720, she and Calico Jack did what pirates do best: they stole a sloop. Then raised a crew. And unleashed themselves upon the Jamaican coast, hunting merchant ships. Conventional wisdom screamed, women are bad luck on a ship, but Calico Jack made an exception. And didn't hide her gender from her crew, but when battle called, she transformed. Dressed as a man, musket in hand, cutlass flashing, she fought alongside them, a whirlwind of fury. At some point, the unexpected happened: Anne became pregnant. She gave birth to a son in Cuba, and then, the child vanishes from history. But Anne Bonny wasted no time returning to the only life she knew. And then, the crew gained another extraordinary woman. Mary Read. Like Anne, Mary had lived disguised as a man, navigating a world that offered no quarter to women. With Rackham at the helm and these two fierce women among the crew, they pulled off an audacious feat, capturing the ship William right out of Nassau Harbor. With their new vessel, they unleashed a string of successful raids, plundering cargo, carving a path of chaos. By all accounts, Anne fought with the ferocity of any man, earning the respect of her hardened crew. Though she never officially commanded her own ship, she was a legend in her own right. Anne's notoriety exploded. Her name, bold and defiant, appeared in the Wanted Pirates circular published by Governor Rogers in the Boston Newsletter, the only newspaper in the colonies. She was officially a target. Then, in November 1720, the curtain began to fall. On the night of November 15, Calico Jack's ship was anchored off Jamaica, the crew deep in celebration after seizing a Spanish vessel, drunk in revelry. But Captain Jonathan Barnett, a former pirate turned naval commander, had other plans. Acting under orders from Governor Nicholas Laws, Barnett launched a surprise assault. Most of Rackham's men were too inebriated to fight. But two figures stood their ground: Anne Bonny and Mary Red. Pistols blazing, blades flashing, they fought with desperate ferocity against overwhelming odds. But even their combined fury couldn't hold back the tide. They were subdued and captured. Along with Rackham and the rest of the crew, they were dragged to face trial in Spanish Town, Jamaica. Calico Jack and the men were tried the very next day, November 16, 1720, and swiftly sentenced to hang. Anne was granted one final, chilling visit with Rackham. She offered no comfort and tenderness. Instead, she delivered one of history's coldest, most iconic parting lines: "Had you fought like a man, you need not have been hanged like a dog." A week later, Anne and Mary stood trial. Both were found guilty. But these weren't ordinary women. They had a final, audacious gambit. Each pleaded her belly, claiming pregnancy. Under English common law, this bought them a temporary stay of execution. The delay saved Anne's life. But Mary Red, her fierce companion, succumbed to fever in prison in 1721 before her child could be born. And what became of Anne Bonny after that? It remains one of piracy's most tantalizing, enduring mysteries. No official records survive of her execution or her release. But legend, that beautiful weaver of tales, suggests her wealthy father pulled strings, using his influence to buy her freedom. One story claims she returned to Charleston, gave birth to Rackham's child, and began a new life. Some whisper she married a man named Joseph Burleigh in 1721, raised 8 children, and died a respectable woman in South Carolina at the ripe old age of 82. Others say she vanished into the Caribbean mists, lived under a new name, ran a tavern, or settled quietly in England. Still another version paints her as Annabelle, married to a Jamaican official, a mother of 8, living into old age. Whatever the truth, one thing is undeniably certain: Anne Bonny didn't just sail the seas. She defied every single expectation of what a woman, or a pirate, was supposed to be. Her story isn't just about stolen gold and daring raids. It's a testament to the wild, brutal freedom of the Golden Age of Piracy, and to the unyielding legend of a woman who refused to live quietly. If you enjoyed the story, please like and subscribe. And remember, darkness is never far away.